righty, righty. I am back. I am back indeed. And we are going to have some fun on this stream. Let me tell you, this stuff is so good. This stuff is so good, it's not even funny. We're just gonna get into it. And this is the stuff what that GMs are made of. All right. When you are dropping moves like this on your opponent, they're just gonna get scared. All right. Now I want to know, did you guys figure out what is the greatest rook sack ever? I'm not talking about in one individual game. I don't mean that. The greatest rook sack in chess. The word is not, the ever is wrong. Let me rephrase that. What is the greatest rook sack in chess? Now, you can literally sack, hey, Chipotle Sensei, what's up? I got a good move for you today, Chipotle. You're going to see a nice move today you're going to like. Now, but let me break it down so that you understand what I'm talking about. There are many thematic sacrifices that happen in chess. Thematic sacrifice on h7, thematic sacrifice on g7, any square near the castled king, right? There are many thematic sacrifices. In fact, you'll even have sacrifices in front of a castled king. The king is sitting on one of these squares, right? And any piece can carry out this sacrifice. It could be a knight, could be a rook, could be a bishop, could be a queen. Any one of those happens in chess, and they're beautiful when they happen. So a lot of those thematic ones you guys really need to know. If you haven't studied them, okay, you're in trouble, all right? Now, and of course, there are a lot of, like I said, queen sacrifices that are thematic. You know, queen sacks itself along this rank, and then a rook shows up and then mates, right, against a fianchetto position, for example. All those are thematic. But the thematic sacrifices extend across the board as well. So if you look at the Sicilian, for example, you'll see a lot of knight d5 sacrifices. You'll see a lot of knight e6 sacrifices. You'll see a lot of knight f5 sacrifices. Sometimes you'll see a bishop takes on e6 sacrifice. There are a number of those sacrifices that happen in Sicilian. In the Sicilian, what you also see with this open C line is you'll see a rook sacrifice itself on c3, and that will be very thematic. So a lot of those are what we consider normal, standard operating procedure for sacrifices. Those are the basic ones, all right? No worries there. However, there is one sacrifice that is also thematic, and when you see it, you go, that's thematic, because it rarely happens, comparatively speaking, but it happens often enough that it's like, you better know this sack, because this one is vicious. And I'm wondering, I see rook sack on the back row, on h8, somebody's getting close, KM Lamb saying in the middle of the board, knight takes e6 has always been your favorite move to play. Elfins, knight takes e6 is sweet, I'm not gonna lie, that's a good one. Knight takes on e6 is definitely a nice one. Maybe you're going to like this one a little bit better because you're so close to the answer. Well, the answer is the answer, in fact. Now, you're going to see this. I'm going to show it to you, and you're going to see it happen again and again and again. And every time it happens, it's like, oh, it's good here too? Oh, it's good here too? And that is the rook sack on e6. To sacrifice a rook on e6 is one of the sweetest, juiciest, most satisfying sacrifices you could play in chess. It is the greatest of the rook sacrifices. All the other rook sacks are, you sacked on h7, everybody knows about that sack. Okay, you sacked on c3. Come on, everybody can do that, you know, we learned that in grade school. But the sacrifice on e6 of a rook, not a knight, not a bishop, a rook, is a higher order. You can't be, oh, I just learned how to play. I read a Reinfeld book, and now I'm sacrificing rooks on e6. No. Or I read a Yasser Seirawan book. Oh, I'm sacking on e6. Oh, no. Not even Yaz goes into those kind of I just read a Stillman book, and oh yeah, all the thematic sacrifice on e6. No, that's not how it works. The rook sack on e6, that's like a special corner of the tactical library. All right, let's go over here and look at it. So we're going to look at those rook sacrifices on e6 and give you a feel for them so that you can say, maybe one day, maybe you might sacrifice a rook on e6 yourself. It's a dangerous sacrifice, folks. You're giving up a rook. And we're talking about for a pawn. We're also saying sometimes for a nothing. The rook just plants. Well, enough of the prelude and the drama. Let's get to the actual games. We're going to start off with this game right here. Okay, so Let us take a good look. Rook takes knight is common. We know that. Rook on empty squares. Everybody's talking about that. We're going to get to this position. Take a look at this position. It's a pretty stable looking chess position, right? Black has a centralized bishop, which is probably not permanent on that square anyway. White can always play something like bishop c3 to chase it away. Black has created a bit of a weakness here. That's a sign, small sign. This g6 square has been slightly compromised. Okay, for those of you who are like, okay, I'm ready to sack my rook. No, can't do. And you're not going to do it in this position. The conditions aren't there yet. But we're going to play a couple of moves. So the first move, bishop back to f6. You're not sacking your rook now either. We're going to get there. Bishop to d2, a nice little retreating move. Eyeing this square, but it doesn't look like it's a serious threat. At least not yet. So black played queen b6. After all, the bishop moved, so now the queen can come out. And now check, king g8, and now white decided, you know what, it's high time I trade off this bishop. Let me just get rid of it, okay? I'd like to double up the pawns, even though that's probably not even a serious thing, but you might weaken some pawn as well. So black decided to play the move bishop takes c3, b takes c3, and then black decided, let me attack a pawn on d5. After all, looks like it's hanging. Well, I will tell you, after I say to you, here it comes, you're like, oh, I see it. But this sacrifice, we're going to see it over and over, is invisible or seemingly invisible to strong players because the square looks protected. So what did white do in this position? Boom! Rook to e6. Now, face plant, I'm in your position. Didn't you know I was coming? Rook e6 suddenly is like, what? Now, please note, there is nobody other than the queen in the vicinity of this king. So this is a pure rook sack to gobble up some peonies. And the sack's coming. It's not like he's not sacked. The sack is going to happen. Rook takes is coming next, all right? So black is in trouble. Pure D trouble. Now, I say nobody else is going to join the party. There's a rook that might sneak to f4. There's a rook that might sneak this way and a that way and a that way. It also might sneak to e2 to e4 just in case it's needed. Or maybe to e2 and to e3 and then swing over this way. So it's not like white doesn't have forces that will join the party. And the beautiful thing about this attack for white is there's always perpetual check. White can always say, you know what, I'm bailing out. It's a draw. So black is in deep trouble. You borrow this piece, well, white doesn't even have to start taking stuff. White can start with rook to e2. Whoop! Everybody be like, let's start taking stuff right away. Rook to e2, a beastie move. The second rook is coming here. And like I said, the rook can also go to e3 and here force you to sack your queen with your king being decimated. So rook to e2 is a monstrous shot. If you try to keep lines closed, that's not going to last. Look, that's not going to last, all right? Let us give you this beatdown. Drop a rook up. Everybody, it's exit stage this way, exit stage that way. Checks are coming. Everything is coming. You're in deep trouble here. Look at this extra rook you've got. You think that's a rook? Nobody calls that a rook. This bishop, that's a garbage piece. Your king is the only thing that matters. So, rook to e6. I'm telegraphing it for you guys so you see it coming every single time, all right? But you're going to be like, is it working in this position? You're going to say it's working because I tell you it's working, but it's not always that easy. But let's take a look as you see the thematic nature of this. Black played bishop takes d5 and white said, boom, give me that. Give me that. We'll take that too. More checks for you. And let's take that with a nice little nasty Matutski threat in the building. Had to stop things. That's not going to help. It's really not. Whoop and swoop and death coming. Game over. I wanted to show simple examples first. That was called a simple example of a rook e6 thematic. All right. Rook e6 is the theme. That's where we're going. All right. Let's now go to another version of this. Now look at this position. White in this position it's a decent position. There's no big advantage to white. It's a position on the board. Either side had their pluses. Black's got a nice knight sitting here. Bishop is on a blockading square. Nice rook on the file. And in fact, what black should be thinking about is a move like b5. So the game, it's just a position, folks. It's just a position. By the way, there's some crazy line that runs knight g5. If you're like a true hardcore gangster type that wants to play a move like knight to g5. If takes, now takes, and the threat is actually quite serious, right? That's Matutski coming at you. Don't play this because, all right, that was a boring one. The only defense for black, only real defense, well, there are a couple actually, but the one that slows white down that looks absolutely bizarre, knight h2. What? Huh? Where? How? Seriously? No way. No way. I don't buy it. I like f4, actually. I think this has got to be good for white somehow. Something like this. I don't know. I'm guessing. I'm going to tell you straight up. Something like this. We're sacrificing. We're taking. We're hitting this. We're threatening this. I'm making it up. Forget it. Forget it. Maybe it's working. Maybe it isn't. Looks very strong, though. Maybe bishop h2 is a move. Still looks like there's some danger in this position. Will Robinson. Okay, bishop h2 is stronger. We got you. All right, so knight g5 is crazy. So what did white do in this position? White played rook to e1. Now, the great thing about tactics, this is the great thing about tactics. Once you know a theme, your brain goes, you spot it quickly. That's what we want for you. I want you to be able to go, I'm doing this in one of my games, like that. You feel me? This is how it's going to work. G6 was what black played. Now, black is Tivyakov. Black is a 2600 Grandmaster. Plays G6 with the threat of bishop to f5. Whip. Now, if you think bishop f5 is, it's a threat, I got to do something, you move your king. If you're a gangster, you say, that's not how I roll. How I roll is to sack my rook. That's how I roll. I sack my rook. Okay. Now you look at this, you say, okay, obviously if pawn takes, it's death on a stick. But first of all, what are you threatening? Okay, we get it. You're threatening rook g6 and blast. Okay, we got you. We got you. Remember, this bishop has this long diagonal. So that's real. So let's play bishop takes. Pawn takes. Now what are you threatening? The beauty of this rook sack. I told you we're at one level and we're going up to the next level now. The beauty of this rook sack is you're looking around like, what's exactly happening here? You just gave up an exchange. Your pawn's on e6. Obviously, they can't take. But what are you doing? Well, what you're going to do is you're going to take this bad boy and then put a bishop on d5 and hurt his feelings. That's what you're going to do. That's what Dreyev planned in this position. All right? Looks like a mouse slip to you, Chipotle Sensei. You're going to see a lot of those mouse slips in this one, all right? Rook e6, like, wait a minute. What's happening? Well, what's happening is black is in deep trouble. You look at it, you can't glance at it and say, oh, it's over. Well, I mean, if you're a 2700 GM, you can. Or if you've got your pocket computer, you can. But this is not one of those, I give up my rook and yeah, it's over. I'm going to dust this guy off. Okay? This is, when I say the greatest rook sack, the invisible one. You drop it and you go, I'm going to school you. You don't know about this rook sack, do you? I'm going to school you. This is what this kind of rook sack is. Sometimes it is, I'm just going to bash your head in. This one is not one of those circumstances, so you got to have a good feel for it. So in this position, the problem for black is that there's little moves to play. For example, let's say you try to cover up. You guard this square from any checks. Looks like a good idea. Why not? Take, you got king takes, you think. You're guarding this square. Until the guy drops h5 on you, and you're like, whoa, whoa, yippee-yay, what the heck is going on? What if I take it? Well then, prepare. I mean, look at this sweet diagonal. Look, first of all, that's got to kill you. That we know that's death. Okay, we just know. Whoop, swoop. The eagles have swooped it. You're a mouse, and the eagle's coming down and got you right now. You can forget about it because look at these diagonal action. I can't. Can't look at this. It's just too ugly. Some things are too ugly to look at. You know what I'm saying? Some things are just too ugly to look at. Let's get back. That was just disgusting. All right. You could also take with the pawn and hope you survive. Well, in this position, let's just start with queen f5. Put a little eyeball on that. Put a little spit shine on this square. Put a little boom on the boom boom. All right. You're about to get hurt. Thank you very much. It's a trap. This is pure D pain. So dropping your knight back is not going to help. Trying to stop the bishop from going to this square, not going to help. Threats coming. Pain is coming. But the beautiful part of this position is actually this move is coming. Is the h5 move that's going to just crack your pawn structure. In fact, that's what happened in the game. f5 was played, shutting down any access to g6. And white was like, I don't care. I sacked the rook. I sacked an exchange because I'm nice. I know about this sacrifice. I know the effect it's going to have on the position. And I'm just going to keep playing chess. We're just going to play chess. Let's just, do this, do to do. We're going to do to you right now. That's how it's going to work. Now, in this position, black is in a critical situation. Thank you, Zach. Black is in a critical situation. Black would like to keep the position closed with the move g5. Like, no access along files for you. Let's keep this thing shut down. And next stop is to blockade this pawn and shut down that diagonal as well. The problem is white is a gangster. All right. He's like, no, we're not shutting nothing down. Next move. Can you guess the next move? I'm going to give you a chance. Guess the next move. You guess the next, first person guess the next move is a gangster. Let's see it. Take en passant's not possible, Chipotle. That's illegal. You can't take en passant. You can only take en passant if your pawn's on the fifth. All right. Ooh, knight g5. No. All right. All of you, bishop d5 doesn't work because black is going to put a piece on this square and block the diagonal. So those of you who threw out the pure D gangster crushing move, e7, whoop, whoop. Can I get a whoop, whoop? All right. We sacked our exchange. We're sacking a pawn. We're opening up lines. We're headed towards your king. I got a light square bishop, and I'm not afraid to use it. That's what that's all about, okay? Let's go. Let's rock it. This is rocket ship coming straight at you. What happens if you take with the queen? Well, check. Don't block with the rook, by the way, because that's snackaroony on the way. First, we'll hit you with a little rook e1, and then be careful where you put your queen, because you put it here in your face and in your face. It doesn't matter where you put it. F5 is dropping. F5 is going down. Your knight's going to hang. Your rook's going to hang. G6 is going to hang. You're going to die. You see all those light squares getting sauced up? Rook e1, no, can do. So e7 is a beastly move. But bishop takes, you say, bishop takes, what about that? May I survive? You're not surviving this. Look at all those juicy open lines. And your king is inviting all the white pieces to the party. Please come kill me. Yeah, check. Go on the diagonal. This is not done. We're sensitivo. Here, a little F5 square. Looks sensitive, doesn't it? But what if I defend it, you say? What if I defend it? Yo, no. F5 is ours. It's going down, and so is your king. Look at that king. Everybody's coming. Little action, Jackson. Everybody. It's just pain. It's just pain in effect. In this position, e7. You sack your rook, and you sack the pawn that you just took back with. That's what you call real chess, folks. That's pure D gangster. So black could not take on h5. By the way, the last move black played was f5. So break down the light squares. Sorry, I want to show you e7. Okay, let's do that again. Let's back up because I got happy fingers. h5. And after g5, e7. Look at those kind of mechanisms. That's what makes you great, folks. All right? We're going to make your chess game great. e7. All right, h5. Play. So black decided he's not going to survive. This is coming. Your position's getting cracked, open like a can of sardines. So black took. You know this is going to be bad. I mean, you know it's going to be bad. And now queen to e7, hoping to be able to take that. White was like, you know what? You do you. We're after your light squares. That's all that matters. Once we get this guy, you're done, son. Takes, give us that. And now it's just white pieces swarming all over the light squares. That light square bishop that was on c8 that you took with is gone, and black's pieces just look horrible. King position is terrible. Threats are coming from every angle. What happened here? Bishop to e5, trying to block. Could I block you out? Block you out. You're like the sun. You're too bright. I got to block you out. Well, here's the deal. Boom! Take that piece and shove it. Hello. Feel that pain. Feel that pain. Thank you very much. Look at the light squares. Just, everybody's on light square except the dark square bishop who can't switch sides. This dark square bishop, could I have some of that light square love, please? Because all of y'all are hanging out on the light squares, and I can't hang out on those juicy light squares as well. Bishop d5, see you later, sayonara. This is over and done. By the way, that was a threat in this position, was bishop to d5, because we had a little action, bing, bing, bing stuff coming at black. This was war. There was the word is nothing to do about this pain that you're going to face. Nothing to do. Look at that king. You don't even want to be the black king. That's Johnny Ballgame. All right? You feeling this rucksack? The rucksack is elevating in your consciousness? All right. Well, let's keep it going. More of the same. Let's jump to this one. All right. Now, the moment you look at this position, you're like, I think I'm going to sack my rook. Hey, I'm going to sack my rook. That's how I do. I'm just going to sack my rook. Maurice is showing me stuff. I'm going to sack my rook. All right? This is what's going to happen. So what happened in the game? The bishop is attacking the queen. So we got to get the queen out of there. So queen e1 was played. Queen to e1, hyper subtle gangster type chess is going to get played on this board. Queen e1. I'm going to tell you, this move is so sweet and deep. Let me just continue the action right now. So anyway, queen to e1, guarding the rook and eyeballing the b-hop. So what happened? The bishop dropped back to c8. I'm under attack. Let me go. Let me get to the sweet new diagonal, and let me go attack your boy. That's what's going to happen, right? That's what's going to happen. Now you look at this position, and I already told you I'm telegraphing the move. Can I tell you? I am telegraphing the move. But even here, you might be like, I see it. I see it. Maurice, are you sure? Are you sure we should play it? You know what? I am so sure. I am so sure that you're going to get a nice one from me right now, because white said, boom! Rook e6 anyway. Come get some. Come get some. Come take this beat down. This is nasty. This version is nasty. What did you guys say about a double rook sack? Watch how black does work. Rook to e6. You're like, wow, that's a spectacular rook sack. Have you seen a rook sack like this one? Rook to e6. I'm telling you, this is the greatest rook sack. Rook just landed on e6. You're not even taking anything. You just put it on the square. I'm just putting it there. Chipotle Sensei, whoa, 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 you're feeling it. Thank you so much for the love. Chipotle Sensei going crazy over this rook sack as it gets better and better. Chipotle, you're always too kind indeed. Way too kind. Thank you so much for that gift. That's a lot. 50 subs to the community, folks. He is feeling it. He's feeling it tonight. Chipotle Sensei, thank you so much. Much appreciated indeed. And you know what? I prep because I want to make sure you guys saw the juice, okay? And this move, rook e6, and there's more to come. There's more to come. It's going to get nastier on the stream. But rook e6, it's a rook. So what happens here? Well, let's take a look. I want to show you guys the main line. because black played bishop takes in this position. But I want to show you the line beginning pawn takes. Like, what if we take? Pawn takes. The threat is push it home. Push him, right? That's the threat. I'm also threatening your queen. I just gave you a rook. I'm threatening your queen, and I got a vicious pass pawn. So queen e7, that blocks everything. Shut him down. Shut him down. Until, I love this move so much. I got to tell you, I love it. There are two moves here, but I love one of them better, okay? It's not even necessarily the best move, but if you play rook e6, you got to play this next move. And that move is what? Boom! Rook d7. What? Close your eyes. It just got bright in here. Can we put on some shade? It got bright in here. I got to block out the sun. Rook d7. If you're playing rook e6, just drop rook d7 on the board. Look how spicy that move is. How many pieces are attacking that square right now? What the heck? Like, what the who? Who the what? What just happened? Rook, you're blockading. Get your queen out of there. What are you doing? Get that queen out my way. Are you cray-cray? Let's get real in effect right now. Like, what am I supposed to do? Well, you can't just move your queen because e7 is coming. And if you can't take with the knight because you're pinned, all right, sorry, you're going to get schooled. Bishop takes, give us that with a checkaroonie. Did you try to hide with your queen? Is that what you try to do? No can do. No can do. The pain is on you right now. Only way is to give the queen back. Collection plate. Give us that. Thank you very much. And obviously we're winning 6 different ways from Sunday. We can try knight d5 action. Schooling. We could even, if we wanted to, let me just check this line. I'm not a fan of it, but we could trade. Queen e7, business, guarding, hitting, preparing a knight d5 action, painful. I mean, oh, we got to make sure we play g3, though, to shut that down as well. But nevertheless, this is beat down. By the way, I said rook d7 wasn't the only move. Unfortunately, you know, there's boring stuff like takes. Ugh, so boring. Take some more, you know. I'm just so dull and boring and just hit him and make it hurt real bad, real bad. And it was, wait a minute, we're going to take that pass pawn. Let's move the king out of the way. Please, 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 take the rook now. Negatory, negatory, knight d5. Let's see you hold this position together as we hit your b-hop and your queen and your rook. Everybody's dropping. And if you dare play rook takes knight, we might have a little fun on you with, whoops! Whoops! The under promote. Scratch that. I like this line better. The under promotion line. Painful. Painful hits every which way. You feel me? So rook on e6 justified by 2 different rook action moves. The other rook on d1 joins the party. You gotta like this move. Boom! So black try to slow things down with the move takes. And instead of trying that other nonsense that black knew was going to get schooled, queen e5. Let's try to get white. This is Wang Hao, by the way. Wang Hao. We're not talking about some scrub. This is Wang Hao with the black pieces. All right? Pure D. Just played in the candidates. I know he didn't do great, but he is a gangster. So let's get it right. Rook e6. Even guys like Wang Hao will fall for this stuff. Queen e5, trying to survive. Well, let's fork your rooks. Let's fork your rooks. Now, I had mentioned earlier how deep a move was. Let's go back in time. Could we rewind? Rewind. We're going to rewind. In this moment, Chaparinov is such a damn gangster. Like, such a gangster that in this position, Chaparinov played not queen e2 like every scrub, including myself, would do, but queen e1. You say, well, what's the difference? Queen e1, queen e2. Because after bishop c8, rook e6, ring, did he prep that? Bishop takes e6, D takes e6, queen to e5, e7. The queen is on e1. If the queen were on e2, rook takes on d1 would have been check. Hello, would have been check. And all of a sudden, the combination is completely wrong. Maybe you might survive later. Maybe you try to hang in there. But the f8 rook is moving, okay? There's no forky-worky. Queen e1 blocks the check to the king. Hey, this is an all-star. This is a player, okay? Let's back that up. We're going to go to the difference between queen e1 and queen e2. Queen e2 in this position, rook to e6 in this position, takes, queen e5 in this position. Now, there is no e7. Bing! Check! How deep, people, how deep is this? That in this position here, not, oh, yeah, when the position occurred, you play rook e6. The anticipation to play the all-star queen e1 double X, triple X, exclamations all the way down, seeing the possibility that if you dare play bishop c8, by the way, not the best move, probably rook moves was best. Rook to e6, ring, 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 ring. You fell for my queen e1. Ring, okay, takes, queen e5, e7. Oh, when you take on d1, it's not even check. That's what happened in the game. Gift us that with check. Give us this freebie. And, oh, let's count. Let's see. I think I'm up a piece. I think I'm up a piece. I think it's time for you to resign because I'm up a whole piece, okay? The guy was so bedazzled by the combination. He said, I'm not going to resign yet, okay? Let me just make a move. By the way, be careful. Don't touch this. Like, unless you want to get schooled. Matter of fact, this check would be the nastiest one. Unless you really, really and truly want to get schooled. If you go here, anyway, let's not bother this variation because you're just getting schooled. So g5 was played, bishop f2, and now he took on h2. And I said, dude, you're down a piece. Let's trade off and see what happens next. Queen c7. I said you're down a piece, all right? Now I'm hitting stuff. I'm hitting that. I'm hitting that. I'm hitting that. Pain. Trade down, please. And now queen takes. Dude, you're down a piece. That's hanging. I'll take that also, and then that's hanging. King g7. Queen f5. Hitting that. Hitting that. Dude, you're down a piece. Like I said, okay, I'm going to lay down right now. Could we go back to this moment right here, please? The difference between queen e2 and queen e1. What kind of depth? It's not check. Sorry, I did a rook. I did a pawn takes. Take. It's not check. It's not check. How many moves later was that? So 29. It was only 4 moves. But he had to see all the variations. Okay? Queen. So queen e2, who's arguing that queen e2 actually does work? Let's go back to the people on the party. Because people want to say, queen e2 also works. It wins a piece. Let me see if queen e2 wins a piece. Let's get to this variation. Rook e6, f e6. Hold on. D e6. Where am I? No, not f e6. Bishop e6. That's what I was looking at. D e6. Queen e5. Now, what's the deal? Somebody said the queen is hanging. What is the deal? That this line works. Show me why this line actually does work as well. What's the deal? I see the bishop is guarding the queen. Yeah. Okay, so nobody's saying anything. All right. Yes. Queen e1. All right. Queen e1 is the money move in this position. Depth is depth. You want to say the guy wasn't that deep, or like the guy's that deep. That's how deep Chaparinov was. He is that deep. All right. Let's not argue with greatness. That's greatness. We can We can, check the facts, but let's make sure that we got the analysis tight. Queen E1, double, triple, freaking exclam. Amazing, amazing move. That is what's up. Beautiful, beautiful chess. Are you guys comfortable yet with this rook sack? I'm going to just repeat it. I'm going to repeat it again. Let's get back to the first time rook E6 happened. In this position, we saw the weak G6. Rook E6 happened here. We saw this rook swinging into the game. That was very important to be able to swing the rook up into the game. That was the first example. This is the second example. Let me go back. Where was I? I was back here. Again, after the move G6, white played rook to E6. We're doing a little review, spot review, so you can get a better feel for this sacrifice. All right, that's sacrifice number 2. And finally, sacrifice number 3. Again, bishop C8, guarding the square. Same tactical idea, rook to E6 with all the white pieces hovering. This is the piece. This is the move. By the way, if white doesn't play rook E6 in this position, white has played some kind of boring. Okay, knight, actually, this move is not that boring. It's a move as well. After knight takes on E4, rook takes, white is threatening this move and basically forces a move like G5. So this is like a positional kind of way to play, maybe a little bishop G3 action, and hope that your position, this is boring. You got to admit, right? You see that white's not going anywhere. So in this position, the second best move, the alternate plan, knight to E4, which is not bad, doesn't get the job done, doesn't bring home the chicken wings, okay? Think about this for a second. White is crushing black. Somebody drops you into a position. White is crushing black. This is the injustice almost of chess. White is crushing black. But if white looks around for a move in this position, okay, I must be doing work here. I got the nice pawn on D5. I got the rook on E7. Don't I have multiple moves that do work? I mean, I see that they're about to maybe take my pawn, but that's not that serious, right? Maybe they're going to challenge your rook on the E line. You start looking, you're scratching your head for a move. The reality is, if you don't play knight E4, the alternate move, if you don't see rook E6, your advantage is frittering away because black's going to have a chance. So even in this position, rook E6 is demanding to be played. Demanding. That's how real chess is. Oh, I need another move. Let me look for something else. That's not how chess works. You find it or you don't. All right? You find it or you don't. And that requires such deep analysis. Rook E6 in this position, I told you, it's almost invisible. Strong players like this miss this move. It's almost invisible because the pawn is guarding the square. Who's putting their rook on that square? The pawn's guarding the square. All right? So we are getting deep into the weeds now of this sacrifice. I have, I have some more vicious examples for y'all. Vicious. We are going to take one break. Now that you've seen this, I'm going to leave this on the table right, boom, on the board. Get this down. But we're going to take another break. Let me get me some pennies while I set up the next position for you guys. And we're going to go to the next phase, which are going to be more complex examples of this incredible sacrifice. The greatest rook sack in chess, I call it. We're going to come back right after this break. Don't go anywhere if you want to have these skills. We'll be back. If you want to see more of these videos, don't forget to click the subscribe button and please follow me on twitch.tv/GMAshley.